that managing input output console, because most of the programs I have already shown in your theory classes of regarding managing input output console. And last week we have also given one lab regarding on that particular topic of managing input output operations in C++. So I think I should not waste one more lab doing that managing console. So so from the next week onwards, we will start our file handling in our lab. Okay. So that's why I've uploaded the assignment in your Google Classroom. Everyone found that assignment, and all of you submit the assignment according to the deadline that I have already provided to you. Okay. So check it. Only
Okay.
five programs are there in the assignments, and I hope
Mhm.
that the core programs I have already shown in the class. Only the last program that you will have to just read it out and try to figure it out that program. Okay. Uh, so as I have already told you that uh, today we are going to start a discussion on how we can handle files in C++ or how we can working with files in C++. Okay. So in C programming, I think all of you have already done these operations of how handling files for reading, how handling files for writing, and how to do copy from one file and pasting into another file. So how we can manage files or how we can handle files, that we have already learned in our C programming. Obviously, in C++, our main conception is similar of within this chapter, that how we can handle files. We have to read the contents of a file, then then show the content of that file into the output console, or you can copy the content of one file into another file, or you can open a file for writing something into that file. So these operations are very common that you have already performed in your file handling in C programming. Okay, only the functions or the methods or techniques, whatever we are going to use in C++, that will be different from the C. In C programming, can anyone tell me what are the functions we have used in C programming? What are the major functions we have used in doing this file handling type of jobs? What are the major functions? Anyone can tell me?
Writing in file like
No,
write.
no. I want to name the. I want to name. I want to know the function names. Means the name of the functions of within C programming that we have used for doing improv for doing these file handling jobs. What are the names of those functions?
Sir, we used fopen
Yeah,
for
if
opening a
open.
file.
fopen.
Okay.
Yes, very
Then
good.
fscanf, fgetf for scanning, reading from the file. Fprintf and fputf for writing in the file.
Right, right. Very good, very good. And these functions are part of which header file? Shall we use any extra header file for this?
S std alive.
No,
No,
sir,
no.
stdio.
HTDIO.
Hmm.
stdio.
stdio.
Yeah.
Right, right. So here in the similar way in C++, we have used the same header file IO streaming for doing this kind of file handling operations. I think you have understood. Just similar to C programming. So IO stream is actually used for input output streaming. That same header file we have used in our previous classes to do some kind of input output operations. Okay, so I think you can understood how we can bridging the concept of this managing input output console with file handling, because for both the cases the header file IO stream is common for both the cases, right? So let me share the screen first. I'm suffering in cough and cold, so if you face any problem, if you don't understand what I'm saying, then please ask me. I will repeat again. Okay. Uh, so as all of you know that file is one of the very important concepts that we generally adopt that file concepts, or we generally adopt the handling of file processing to implement several real life problems. Okay, actually real life problems generally require a handling of large volume of data or large amount of data, and in such situation we need to use some storage devices such as floppy disks, hard disks to store the data. We need to use some storage devices such as floppy disks, hard disks to store the data. So within those floppy disks, hard disks, what are the data that we are what are the things by within which we are going to store our content? Okay, So the things are the soft copies are called files. Okay, the files are mainly responsible, which are which is mainly used to store some data or content, okay, in the form of soft copy, and that will be stored in a hardware storage devices such as floppy disk or hard disk. Okay, so what is a file? If we say what is a definition of a file, we can say a file or a computer file is a computer resource. Okay, obviously computer resource means it's related with the soft copy concept for recording data discretely in a computer storage device. Okay, or we can say a file is a collection of related data stored in a particular area on the disk. So that disk may be a hard disk, that disk may be a floppy disk, anything. Okay. So right now floppy disk, use of floppy disk is obsolete. So we are mainly focusing on the files that we are storing into our hard disk only. Okay. So uh, what are the operations that we generally perform within a file? So there are majorly we can classify two operations that we are majorly concerning, that we are or majorly performing on a file. One is reading a data from a file, another one is writing a data into a file. Okay, these are the two main operations. All other operations related with these two operations only: reading and writing, reading and writing. Okay, so so a file handling program typically involves of doing some operations regarding data communications, like uh, by the help of a C++ program, we can implement a data transfer technology between the con- console unit and the program. That means we can read some data to the keyboard and show it into a output console. Okay, or we can say we can implement data transfer technology between the program and the disk file. That means we can read the data from keyboard or from at runtime from terminal and store the data into the files of your in your hard disk, right? And in case of writing operation, we can fetch the data which has been stored into a file of your hard disk and show the data into the output console window. So these are the various kind of operations that we are generally performing on a file. So these are the things which I have already discussed. So based on this concept, we can say that the console program file interaction, this is the overall interaction that I have already told you, that is actually represented here in the form of diagram, a block diagram you can say. So check out this block diagram very carefully. So this block diagram is totally divided into three parts. One is a console unit, second part is the internal memory, and the third part is the external memory. Right. I hope that the diagram is visible to everyone. Console unit, internal memory, and external memory. Now, console unit generally consists of the monitor and the keyboard. That is input-output devices, right? So, at runtime, we are sending some data or inputting some data from our keyboard or terminal, and with the help of this cin and the extraction insertion operator, we actually apply or get data from the keyboard, and that will be transferred to our internal memory that actually consists of program plus data. That means this is the memory where actual program and data is actually storing, right? Now, from that memory, whenever we are writing the data into files, okay, then it will be stored into an external memory. That is the files that is actually storing into our hard disk. These are the external memories related to our hard disk where the files are actually storing, and this is the internal memory where the streaming of the data is actually storing temporary. So what is the difference between internal memory and external memory here in terms of data storing? In internal memory, whatever data are stored, that is actually a temporary data, a streaming of data that is stored temporary. Okay, so whenever you will close down your program or shut down the machine, the entire data will be lost. And what is this storing? External memory storing. That means the data is actually storing in a permanent fashion. Okay, not temporary fashion. That means if you switch off your machine, doesn't matter, the data is actually storing until the lifespan of your hard disk in your machine, right? So this is in terms of writing. Now while we are trying to reading the data, that means read out the data from the files of the hard disk, and that data can be read by the help of our program and data, and that data has arrived from the permanent memory, that means from hard disk files to your internal memory, and then the data will again fetched and show as the output into the console unit or the output screen. So this is the entire operations that we actually performing in between the console and the program file, and that's why it is called console program file interaction. Is this concept clear to everyone? Anyone has any doubt? Is this concept clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's check it out. Mm. Program file communication. So in C++, we have already learned there are several file streamings. Several streaming in the last chapter we have already discussed about the input streaming, output streaming. In the similar way, there are several file streamings which are used as an interface between the program and the files. Okay, that means this stream is working like an abstraction or an interface between the programs, whatever you are writing in C++ code. That is called program or source code, and the files which actually stored into your hard disk. Okay, so we actually doing all this operation with the help of handling the file streams. Okay, so the streams that supplies data to the program is known as input stream. Very important line, try to understand carefully. The streams that supplies data to the program is known as input stream. Which portion it is indicated? This portion. Okay, this portion. That means you are supplying the data at runtime from the terminal or from the keyboard, where you are going to supply inside your program, right? So by the help of input stream, you are able to supply data to the program. Okay, and the one that receives data from the program is known as output stream. So which one is output stream? Sorry, this one is the output stream. That means from the program to the output window or the console window, you are supplying the data. That is called output stream. So this is the job of this two stream, input streaming and output streaming. Now input streaming is mainly used for reading data, and output streaming is mainly used for writing data. These two things is very clear to you. The same diagram, this diagram I have also shown at our previous lecture. The same diagram is showing here that from the disk file, read data is actually storing into input streaming, and from the input stream, the data will be fetched with the help of your program, and from the program, you are going to give the data to the console output window. That is output streaming. So this is the relationship between input streaming, output streaming, program, and disk files. Okay. This is a similar kind of hierarchy we have used in our previous class, if you remember. Only these three things are new. This one, IF stream, F stream, and OF stream. The rest of the and this F stream base. These four things are new in this diagram, and the rest of the things are already available. Okay, in the previous cases. So this IF stream, F stream, and OF stream. Okay, IF stream, F stream, and OS stream. So what are the job of this input output system? So this input output system includes if stream. If stream is mainly used for the input streaming. Okay, OF stream is mainly used for the output streaming. Okay, and F stream is actually a common means both for input and output. And these three streaming, if stream, F stream, and OF stream, is actually fetched from the base class F stream base. So which one is the parent class of all these three streaming? This one, F stream base. Try to understand. So these classes, all these three classes are derived from the F stream base class and from the corresponding IO stream class. Okay, this is the IO stream class. So F stream base class is again derived from the IO stream class, iOS. So iOS is the grandparent class. So IO stream, from IO stream, F stream base is derived, and from F stream base, this if stream, F stream, and OF stream derived. Okay, so these classes designed to manage the disk files and are declared in F stream, and therefore we must include this file in any program that uses files. Okay, so we can include these files, these stream classes into any program that uses these files. Okay, so let's check it out how we can perform the opening and closing of files. So there are several techniques, several processes are there. Before I'm going to show you the opening and closing file, I just need to tell you what are the job or what are the operations of F stream. So if you have a notebook, everyone note it down. First, I need to tell you about the F stream base. I am not going to tell about iOS because these are the things which I have already discussed in my previous classes during the managing input output console chapter. Okay, So I'm first discussing from fstream base. So if you note it down, fstream base class provides operations common to file streams. Fstream base class provides operations common to file streams, and it serves as a base for fstream, ifstream, and ofstream. Okay, it serves as a base of fstream, ifstream, and ofstream. And this fstream base class has two functions, open function and close function for the operations. This fstream base class has two functions. It contains two functions, open function and close functions. Okay, we will see some programs where we have used open function and close function of this fstream base class. We will see that. Okay, open function, open, then first bracket, and then close, then first bracket. I think all of you understood open function and close function. It's a part of that fstream base class. Now,
Hello, sir.
huh,
Sir, can
Tell
you
me.
repeat from first?
Acha, fstream base class, what is the job of the fstream base class? It provides operations common to file streams. It provides operations common to the file streams. It serves as a base class for ifstream, fstream, and ofstream. Okay, it serves as a base class for ifstream, fstream, and ofstream classes, and it contains open method and close method functions. It contains open method and close method, system defined. All are built-in functions that is actually defined within the fstream base class. Now come into its child classes. The first child class of this fstream base class is ifstream. ifstream. So what is the job of the ifstream? It provides input operations. I have already told for input streaming we will use ifstream. It provides input operations. So in the program, if I will include the fstream header file, automatically this ifstream, ofstream, fstream all have been included. So we don't need to worry about the individual inclusion of the header files. I think you have understood what I am trying to say, because this is the base class. So if we are able to include the fstream header file, look out one of the code. This is one code I have written, and in that program I have included only one header file, that is fstream header file. So automatically all other subclasses of fstream base class, that is ifstream, ofstream, has been included within the header file. Clear? But you have to know theoretically what are the jobs of these base classes. Okay, because the question will come and you will have to explain what are the base classes are there under the fstream base classes. Okay. So ifstream is generally provides input operations. Okay, and it contains open function with default input mode. It contains open function with default input mode. What are the input modes that we will see later? Okay, so it inherits the function get method, get line method, read method, seekg method. These are the functions that it inherits. Within this ifstream. Okay, within this ifstream, open method is there, as well as it inherits the function get method. The get method we have already learned in a previous class. Get method, then get line method we have also learned in a previous class. Then read method. With all kind of methods related to input operations are stored within this ifstream class. Clear? Get method, get line method, read method, then seekg method, tellg method. We will learn all these methods. Okay. Is it clear to everyone up to this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next subclass that we need to discuss is ofstream. So if ofstream is just opposite of ifstream, ifstream. So this is input streaming and this ofstream is used for the output streaming. So it provides output operations. ofstream provides output operations. Okay, and this ofstream class inherits which methods? So what is the opposite method of the get method?
Put.
Put
Put.
method. Yes, so ofstream class included put method. Very good. Then it included write method, because it included read method. So opposite of read method is write method. So ofstream class include write method. In the similar way, this stream class including seekg method, SEEK small g, then method sign. and this WebStream class uses seekp method, contains seekp method, SEEK small p then function or method bracket. So what are the job of seekg, seekp, that we will learn. Okay, gradually we will learn. So these are the overall functions or classes that or functions that IOStream is generally maintained. Now, what about FStream? What about FStream? FStream provides support for simultaneous input-output operations. That means if you want to perform a simultaneous input-output operations, then FStream provides that support. So if we declare this FStream as our header file, so automatically all this input-output operation comes under this header file FStream. Okay, so FStream provides a simultaneous input-output operation support. Okay, and it inherits some functions like iStream, OSStream classes through IOStream. Okay, so these are the functions that FStream inherit. Look, that's where the arrow has came. Okay, this FStream inherit iStream and OSStream inherit OSStream. So obviously this actually a structure which is mainly applicable for input-output, managing console input-output operations, which I have already shown, and this below structure is mainly applicable for this stream handling or file handling in C++. So how they are related, I think you have understood these things. These arrows represent the relationship between these structures. So FStream inherit properties from IOStream, OFStream inherit property from OSStream, and IFStream inherit property from iStream. Okay. So this is the overall architecture, you can say, or hierarchy of the streaming classes. Okay. Now I discussed too much theory. Now let's see some code by which we can do this simple opening and closing of file and reading writing operations. Okay, so there are several codes are available. Okay, but several techniques are available. You will have to familiar with all the technique. But the first technique that I would like to discuss with you, that how we can open files using constructor. How we can open file using constructor. So to open a file stream is created and then it is linked to the file name. First we have to create a file stream, and that file stream has to be linked with the file name. Okay. Now a file can be opened in two ways. There are two ways by which we can open a file. The first way using the constructor function of the class that I would like to show you today, and the second way using the member function open of the class. If I will have a time today, then I will also show you how we can use open function, member function, to open a file. Okay. So a file is closed by using the function close. Just similar to file handling in C++. If you remember, in case of C programming, while we did a file handling, we have seen by the help of f open we will open a file. In a similar way, by the help of f close we will close a file. So the main you can say it may be a disadvantage, or it may be an you can say an obstacle for an input streaming, or for a streaming type of operation, that one stream can handle one file at a time. This is very, very important statement. Remember, everyone remember it. One stream can handle one file at a time. So you cannot handle multiple files by a single stream. A single stream is not capable of handling multiple files. So if you say that if I want to handle multiple files by a single stream, how we can do that? Very simple. First, you will have to open a particular file under that particular stream, and whenever the operation, whatever operation you want to perform, you will perform within that file, and then you will have to close the file under that particular stream. After closing that file under that particular stream, you will have to open another file into the same stream. Okay, so one after another, sequential file opening closing operation will be applicable for a single stream. So this is very, very important for you to understand that one stream can handle one file at a time. Okay. Now the first technique that I need to tell you today, that how we can opening file using constructor. How we can opening a file using constructor. So what is the job of a constructor? That everyone, we know that the job of a constructor is to initialize an object while it is being created, right? Everyone know the general job or general function of a constructor. So here, in this case, a file name is used to initialize the file stream object. In this case, a file name is used to initialize the file stream object. Okay, so we will use a file name to initialize a file stream object. Now we will create a file stream object to manage the stream. OF stream is used to create output stream. OF stream is used to create output stream. That we actually performing any kind of output operations with the help of this OF stream object. And IF stream is used to create input stream. So we can perform any kind of input operations by the help of this IF stream object. So initialize the file object with the desired file name. So try to understand. This is some example of coding I have shown to you. So this is the OF stream. Which one is the OF stream object here? This one, out file. So this object name can be any name as per the choice of the programmer or the user. Okay. So OF stream is a main stream and out file is one of the file object that will be created or that will be inherit from the OF stream class. Okay. And results, what is that result? Result is the file name. Try to understand. Results is the file name. So in your hard disk, the new file will be created with the name of results while you are performing some kind of output operations. In the similar way, this IF stream is the class name for input streaming and in file is the object of that class. So this is a constructor type of concept. Right? Is it so? This is a class and this is the corresponding object of this class. Again, this is a class and this is the corresponding object of this class. So if you remember how we can call a constructor, we have written such kind of code to call a constructor. Remember? Is it true, right?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Now we will apply these concepts into our program. Let's see one code here. This is the code. Try to understand, everyone. So this is the this is our what should I say? This is our hard disk. This is our drive where I have written that code. This code has been saved. File handling C++1.cpp. This code has been saved in our drive. In this drive, check it out. This is the code, right? Here. Now, what is the job of this code? Let me say you the simple job of this code. By the help of this code, we are going to create a file item. By the help of this code, we are going to first create a file item. Clear? A text file. Okay. Here we can use a .txt extension, and if we don't use .txt extension, then it will take a by default extension of a file, right? Now within this item file, and after creating this item file, we actually reading the values at runtime from the terminal or from the keyboard by using cout and cin, okay, and writing that values whichever you have read from the keyboard, writing that value into the file. How we have writing that value into the file? By using the file name object. Look, the same object name we have used here, and this is the way of writing. So this name you have reading from the keyboard by the help of cin object. I think all of you understood these things. Very simple. At runtime from the terminal, you have taken input, the name as a input, right? And that name will be stored into a name variable, which is a character type array of 30 bytes. And this name variable is printed with the help of the object of the outstreaming file. That means the upstream file object. Which one is the upstream file object? Outf. And this object is connected with which file name? Item. So where this name will be stored? Within this item file. Agree with me, everyone? Is everyone agree with me?
Yes, sir.
If anyone has any confusion, please ask me. Try to understand, try to clear the conception, because in future you will have to use this file handling with the help of C++ code or C code extensively in future. Okay.
Again, sir. Repeat it.
Okay. So by the help of OF stream class, it's a system defined class. I have already discussed several things regarding OF stream. This is the object we have created or initialized of the OF stream class with the help of that constructor concept, right? Because I am showing you here opening a file using constructor, right? So OF stream and outf is a constructor object initialization concept, and this object is associated with this file name item, right? Now you say, sir, whether this file present in your hard disk. Let's check it out whether this file present or not. So Control F. What was the file name? Item. Item. So one file is present with the name of item here. Okay. So let's delete it. Okay. So whether item is present or not, let's check it out. I am searching with I. Look, no item file is present here, right? So this hard disk or this drive is clear right now. There is no item file is present. Okay. Now what is our job in this program? Our job is to create an item file, a file with a name item, a file, a text file with a name item. And we have to take some input at runtime through the keyboard and write that input value into this file. That is the job. Clear? The job is clear to everyone? So what are the inputs I have
Yes.
taken? First, I have taken the input name, which will be stored into a name array. Suppose I have given my name, which will be stored into a name character array, whose size is 30, maximum size is 30. And second, what is the second input? Second input I have taken was cost, which is a float type, so which is stored into a variable of float type, that is cost. So our aim is to take these two input, name and cost, through at runtime through keyboard or through terminal, and save or store the content of these two input, name and cost, into the file item. How we can do that? Very simple, by using this object which is connected or associated with this file name outf, and within this extraction operator, outf then extraction operator, then we will place the name. Okay, so in this way, this outf file object stored the name inside the file item. Am I clear? Now you will say that item file was not present into a hard disk. Then how it will store? Very simple. If you remember, I told during the C operation, file handling operation, that if during the write operation, if the file was not present in your hard disk, then the C program will create the file for you and write the content inside that newly created file. The same thing is happening here. So while you will run this code, the item file will be created by the C++ compiler for you. And within this item file, now you are storing the value of name as well as cost simultaneously. Is it clear? Up to this, is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
So after this writing operation, now your job is to display that operation or display the input of that item file into the output console. That is the job. Okay, that is reading. Okay, so writing operation is complete here. So after the writing operation, we have to close down the object outf. So how we can close down the object? Outf.close method. By the help of this method, we are able to close the current active object within that output stream. So now this output stream is remain closed. It's open for taking the taking another new object. I have already told one stream can handle only one file object at a time. Okay, so if you are not closing down this object before the next operation, then this output stream of your system is still holding the object actively of outf. So no other object will be allowed within this OF stream. So that is the problem. That's why we have to close it. Clear? So up to this line, there is a write operation, and then we have to close the object that is used for the write operation of the OF stream. The constructor object. Constructor we are calling for creating or initialize this object. That's why it is called opening a file using constructor. Now the second job of this program, the second part of this program, this is the second part of this program. What is the job of the second part? We have to open the existing file item under the input streaming IF stream with the help of this object INF. Clear? We open this file which actually created or written in by the help of previous statement. That file will be again opened under the input streaming IF stream with the help of object INF. Right? Now we actually read the value of name and cost, which actually stored in the previous case, name and cost. Right? The name and cost is actually storing into the file item. Is it so? So by the help of INF and insertion operator, I mean, that means greater than operator, we are able to read the name and cost value under this item file, okay, which actually already stored within this item file. And after reading it successfully within name and cost variable, then we will simply print the name and cost variable as the output. So how we can print that name and cost variable in the output console window? By using cout operation. And after this operation, we simply close the currently active object that is active under the IF stream. Clear? Anyone has any confusion? Any problem? Anyone has any confusion, any problem? Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What about the others? What about the lateral students? Do you understand these things? File reading and
Yes, sir.
writing. Okay. If anyone has any confusion, let's check the output. Your confusion will be clear. So I am again checking in front of you that whether the item file is present inside this drive or not. Look, I am searching with I. No item file is there. Clear? No item file is available here. So now let's execute this code. Run this code. So I'm running this code, so it will demand a name from my end. So I am giving my name Sanjay as an input. Now it demands a cost. Suppose I am giving a cost 2000 as an input. So these are the two inputs that is actually demanding, right? Name and cost. And when I am pressing enter, at the same instant, this name and cost will be written into the file item. Right. Now you say, sir, item file was not present. So shall it give error? No, it will not give error. Why? Because this is the power of a C++ programming or C programming, any kind of programming language, that it will create a new file with this name item for you and then write the name and cost contained within this file. So enter. So this is the reading. Why these two things has been shown in the output? Because of the this one for this code. Because item file has been already created at the back end, right? And from that item file, it will again read the name and cost which has been stored inside the item file, and that will display as a console output. So this last two statement is a result of this input streaming, and the first two statement is a result of this output streaming. Now we will check within the hard disk drive whether item file is created or not. Look, item file is created. Clear? It's a file which is created. Now if I want to check the content of the file, how we can check it? We simply create a blank notepad and just copy and paste the file within this blank notepad. Look, what is the content of the file? It's the same content that I have provided during the input of the program. Is it clear? Tell me, is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What about the others? Anyone has any confusion? Try to clear it out. So this is the one way, by using a constructor object, how we can read and write a file. Okay. Now I just need to show. So there is another way, but today I don't want to show that one. In the next class, I will show that by using open method, how we can do the read and write operations, and how we can working with multiple files. Okay, that means multiple simultaneously we will create input stream and output stream, and how we can merging two files with the two input streams, and then paste that files or output that file into an output stream. Okay, so how we can handle two files simultaneously with the input output stream, that we will show you in the next class. So up to this, if anyone has any problem, then ask me. I will discuss about it. Everyone, please practice this program at your home, because you have to know how to handle the files. Because I believe that many of you have forgot in C programming how you have done this file handling. But file handling is very, very important. Whenever you are dealing with a large project in future, you will have to do a file handling. You are using a suppose Python code, right? Some of you are doing mini project and they are using a Python code. So they are taking some inputs from outside world into a notepad or an Excel or on a .csv file. So you are using a Python code or you are using a R code. So how you are reading that file? By using something read.csv method. In Python code, you are reading that CSV file, which is in the form of Excel, by using read.csv. The same thing is actually happening here. We are reading the file in C++ by using this concept. Okay, ifstream inf item. That means item file is already created in the system. Why it is created? Because we have already created in the previous statement. While the previous statement are executing, obviously the item file is already created into a system that I have already shown to you. And if it is created, then there is no problem of reading the file, reading the content of the file. So how we have read the content of a file? We have read the content of a file by using the ifstream inf object. Okay, and that file content I have read and stored into a local variable name and cost, and that name and cost is actually printed by the help of cout object in the output window in our monitor screen. Okay, so that is the overall concept. But one thing you have to remember, that whenever you are completing the work under one object, that object should be closed down before starting or creating a object into the stream, into the same stream. Okay, so one stream can handle one file object at a time. That you have to remember. That is very, very important. Okay, is it clear to everyone? Anyone has any kind of doubt, you can ask me. Who is this? Look, stream buffer job, right now you don't need to know the stream buffer job. When I will discuss about the stream buffer, I will tell you about the stream buffer. Actually, stream buffer we don't need to use right now. Stream buffer is mainly used for a temporary storing of the data content. Okay, but here we don't need to use a stream buffer because we are storing the data content into our hard disk files directly. Okay, so we don't need to use of the stream buffer. Any other confusion? I hope that there is no more confusion.